Welcome back. My guest is a rookie guard for the Golden State Warriors. He was named the Western Conference Rookie of the Month for January. Stephen Curry joins me. Stephen, nice to have you. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, Jim. How you doing?
Doing great, thank you. So, Rookie of the Month for the conference. Obviously, you've put yourself right in the middle of that conversation for Rookie of the Year. Do you have it in the back of your mind?
A little bit. I'm trying not to let it affect me on a day-to-day basis, you know. We still have about 12 or 13 games left. Our team goal is to try to get Coach Nelson, you know, the all-time wins record for coaches, and then at the end of the year, worry about the Rookie of the Year. So hopefully I play well and finish the year strong.
All right, so in the meantime, do you find yourself checking on Tyreke Evans to see how he's doing night to night?
You know, I watch SportsCenter. I pay attention to all the news and highlights and stuff every night. So I know what he's up to. I'm not trying to have a one-on-one race with him, but I keep in touch with what's going on in the league. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure he probably does the same thing. You know, what's interesting to me is you see some rookies, they come out quickly and they peak early, or you see some other rookies come out a little bit more slowly, and then they finish strongly. Your year has been interesting in that you've been very, very steady. How do you think you've been able to manage some or avoid some of the highs and lows that other rookies have to go through?
Just trying to stay, as focused and consistent as possible. At the beginning of the year, just trying to feel my way around the new team. How to play with Monte in a very small backcourt, and that took some time to get adjusted to. But as the season went on, got a lot more confidence, started playing a lot more minutes, and had to do something with those minutes and be productive. So, every day in practice, trying to come out, figure out how to stay consistent and finish out the year.
To your point, it is kind of a smaller backcourt. It's a really skilled backcourt, but it's a little bit smaller. You think ultimately they may break that thing up and get either one of you guys a bigger backcourt mate?
I hope not. I have a lot of fun playing with Monte. Very explosive, very productive, like you said. And when we get some bigger guys back from the injury list that we've had all year, I think we can be a steady backcourt that can guard ones and twos that are maybe bigger than us. With a front line that'll back us up. So right now we're playing with 5 guards sometimes just with the lineup we have. So we kind of get exploited that way. But I think for the most part, me and him are a pretty good backcourt.
Yeah, as a rookie, you've got to make so many adjustments when you get to this level. What was the biggest adjustment you had to make once you got to the NBA?
Just making sure you refresh every game. It's a long season, 82 games. Every night you're playing the best in the world. So I think early in the year I had a stretch of games where I played. I had Darren Williams, Chris Paul, Steve Nash, and then Rondo in a 4-game stretch. So just making sure that you were, had your legs, had your energy, and you could adjust to each different game plan to guard those different guys because they all have different strengths and talents, and you got to figure out how to defend them.
Also physical, you got to be right. You got to get your rest. You have to eat the right way. You got to get your workouts in. What about the emotional toll the season plays? It is such a long year. Not that you're a really emotional guy anyway, but because the year is so long, you also can't hit the highs and lows emotionally, I would imagine.
That's exactly what my dad gave me a lot of advice coming into the year. Just try to stay as even keel as possible. You're gonna have some great games. You're gonna have some bad games. You're gonna play pretty much steady the whole year. You just gotta keep your emotions on check. And for us, we've had a pretty down year with like I said, with all the injuries we've had, and haven't got a lot of wins. So it's been tough to keep that optimism and that I guess enthusiasm for the season. That's been a challenge, and now we're at this point in the year. You just got to figure out how to get as many wins as possible down the stretch.
Yeah, to put that in context, you lost 20 games in 3 years at Davidson. You lost that many games by Christmas time this year. So how do you stay up?
Just having tunnel vision, really, preparing for the future. I'm not going to see a season like this where you have so many guys that are so key to our team go down for extended periods of time. So it's basically just weathering the storm right now, trying to stay positive about my game and how to with me and my teammates, just have as productive a season as we can, and then get to the summertime and go from there.
Talk about what it was like coming out of college. You had that great run in college. So on the one hand, it's going to enhance your draft status. You're going to move up. You're going to make some money and get some notoriety. On the other hand, everybody knows who you are. They did anyway because your father played the game and you had a nice career. But all of a sudden now you've got that bullseye on your back, and the expectations were much higher coming out, weren't they?
They were. Starting my freshman year, nobody really knowing where Davidson was. to us making that Elite Eight run in 2008, and then pretty much staying on the map my whole junior season. Even on our conference, we had a bullseye on our back, and when we played the best teams in the country, they didn't take us lightly. So it was a total transformation of where Davidson was on the national stage, and I had a lot of fun playing there, and it really prepared me to come and be on the highest level and be productive and worry about that attention.
So take me back. Like, what's it like when you play for a smaller program, then all of a sudden something special is building? You're playing well, maybe you catch lightning in a bottle, you get hot, and you just keep advancing. What is that ride like?
When it's happening, you don't really feel it. You're really excited, especially in a tournament. You feel like you can win every game. You don't really think it, see it as any different situation than the rest of the season. But once the season was over, and you think we were one shot away from making the Final Four, and that puts into perspective. A school with 1,700 in the enrollment, getting that close to a Final Four, almost beating the national champions in Kansas. So it was just a whirlwind ride, and something that me and my teammates that are on that team will never forget. So
let me finally ask you, once you take that first paycheck, it's done. I mean, you're a professional, you're paid, it's a job. End of the day, it's a job. Have you ever once looked back and wondered, what would it be like to have one more year there and one more shot?
Yeah, I do. When I watched the first round of the tournament this year, I actually saw a couple highlights of Davidson when we made that run, and it took me back to those days, and it made me think, what would we be doing if I stayed another year, and if we would have made the tournament, made another run. But I made that decision to come out. I'm happy with it. I think it was a great decision for me, and I think I've had a pretty good rookie year.
Well, I'd say it worked out pretty well. Steph, nice to have you on the show. Thanks so much. Good luck.
Hey, thanks, Jim.
Always good to talk to you. Remember, you can check out Jim Roman's Burning each weekday at 4:30 Eastern, 1:30 Pacific on ESPN. I will see you then.